Hello, and welcome to the next episode of the Spirit and Soul Podcast. I am your host, Tiffany Cohen, and today it's our monthly message from the universe for October 2023. So, I am pulling from the Shamanic Medicine Oracle Deck. I love this deck. This is a deck that when I went to Sedona, and I did a private medicine wheel ceremony with me. It was me and my husband, and it was so amazing. And the facilitator had this deck, and it was just so incredibly powerful, and it really spoke to me in this really interesting way. And when I finally found the deck and was able to get it for the shop, because it took some time to get it, when it finally got into my hands, I never even looked at the book that came with it. I just went straight into reading it. I actually jumped on like an Instagram live and just started reading from it for people. And it was like, I couldn't believe how I was able to do that with a brand new deck without really looking at the cards. It was pretty incredible. So I am super pumped to bring you this reading today for October, because this deck, again, is very deep. It's very grounded, very earthly, as you can imagine with a shamanic deck. So let's get into it. So this is what comes up first, and it is the lower world, or looking at the past. So on this card, there is a dragon. It's just the head, and he has his head down, and there's a cave, and the cave inside is dark and it's shadowy, but there's all these roots coming down off of this cave. It's like tree roots. And to me, right away, what I'm getting with this is we have to really look in this month. We have to look to the past. We have to look to, and this feels very ancestral to me right now, especially with the other cards that are coming up. But this feels very ancestral, of looking back into the past for answers for ourselves and moving forward. It's interesting that this is coming up, because this is exactly what I was getting for the month of October. Last month, when we were planning all of our spirit and soul classes, I was getting like, there's a deep need for ancestral work. And I have been doing this work myself, ancestral work. And it is life changing, because you realize that the things that you're carrying, a lot of it is not yours, and you're not meant to carry it. You're meant to heal it. And we carry these things from our ancestors without realizing it, because we have blood memory, we have water memory, and we're carrying these things forward that aren't even within our belief system. So it's really powerful when we break those chains and we start to heal them. Right? We don't want to break them and move forward. They're not mine. Sorry. No. Well, we have to actually do the healing work for our ancestors as well. We always heal 7 generations back, and we heal 7 generations forward. Right? So if we know that, then we're the chosen one to really start to break those ancestral chains. Well, we have to really get to work. And especially in October, when the veils are so thin right now. So the veils between the spirit world and our world are really thin. This is a time to connect to your ancestral lineage. It's a time to connect to even those that are alive here, not just the lineage that has passed, but also those that are alive right now, and really begin to understand your family. I don't know if you've ever gone through this process. I'm a very curious person. If you haven't gotten that at this point, I'm a very curious person. I ask a lot of questions. I've asked for a ton of stories from either, from my family, from my dad, from my grandmother, when she was alive. And I would ask her for stories of things of the past, and she would always want to talk about it. And even with my husband's mom, with my Janny, for anybody on the live sale, that's on our live sale that we do Monday nights, Janny always joins. And her and I have had so many incredible conversations, even about her own stories and the stories of her family. So Andrew's family, because his family is my family, and we've created a family by bringing those things together. So it's not just about your lineage. If you are partnered with somebody, then you really need to understand their family as well, because their family is yours and yours is theirs, and that's just how it works. So really understanding the past, and I've asked her so many questions about her own life that even Andrew didn't know, because we know our parents and our grandparents as they are to us, but it is amazing when we can hear the stories, maybe things that have set them back, maybe things that they wish they would have done, maybe things that they did that were absolutely incredible, or just like fun facts, things to know. And then asking about the story down the line. So I would highly suggest to go through this family lineage and ask questions if you can. If they're alive, ask them, and then also go into meditation and connect with your ancestors and ask them questions as well. You can probably sit and figure out what is, and you probably already know what these things are, which is the next card that I pulled is the knowing card. So you can probably figure it out and kind of know where your blocks are. But sometimes we know where our blocks are, but we don't realize where they come from. So a powerful thing that you could do is kind of close your eyes. And if you've been to my classes recently, and we just did this in Shadow and Soul Coaching, my group coaching program, is we identify the block within us, and then we feel, you kind of hold your arms out and feel, where is it pulling you? Well, if it's pulling you to the left, that is the past. Okay, that's ancestral. If it's pulling you forward, that's more than likely it's yours, it's present day, it's yours, or even like foreshadowing. Okay. So if we're being pulled to the left, which most people usually are pulled to the left side, well, we're looking at ancestral patterns. So now if you have, let's say, a block around money, and now you're being pulled, and now ask yourself the question of, well, how far does it go back? Now you can kind of feel if it goes back really, really far, then maybe it's your great grandparents, great grandparents, like it goes back, it's really far back in your lineage, and ask, like, you can feel it right there. Like, it's from a Victorian time, it's from the blah, blah, blah time, like whatever it is, it's from Egyptian times. You can kind of go back and feel that energy. And when you do that, now you know how deep it goes, because how many people, how many generations has it had to go through and stay intact before it came to you to heal. And that's how deep you're going to have to go in your healing. Now, if it feels like it comes from a parent or a grandparent, you still have to do the healing work. It just might be not so layered, not so ingrained. But if it's going far back, well, we have to do all of the healing of the in-between. And as we heal ourselves, we heal the grandparent, we heal the parent. So it's incredible when we do this work. But understanding where your blocks are coming from are going to be really, really important. And since the veils are so thin right now, you have everything at your disposal to really work with this. Now, where we're going to with the challenge here, the challenge card is the immersion, immersing yourself in this. It's interesting because I know for me, working with ancestral, like doing ancestral work for me wasn't something that I was ever drawn to until very recently. And I wasn't even drawn to it. I was just in a program that a big part of what we do is ancestral work. And now I realize how important it is. But at first, for most of my spiritual journey, I have not been really called to look at ancestral healing, and I'm not really sure why, because there's so much incredible healing and beauty to it. Maybe I needed to break down my own layers, personal layers. I think part of me didn't see an importance in it, and I want to be clear and say this because you may be feeling the same way. That, well, what is the importance of it? These are my issues, but we don't realize that they're not. They're not just your issues. The issues are carrying forward and are masking themselves as your own. And yeah, you're carrying your own issues for sure. but you're also carrying the issues of your family going forward if you haven't healed it and if you haven't recognized it. So the challenge card is this immersion. It's really going to the depths, allowing yourself to go to those depths, allowing yourself to find the importance of it. And even in this immersion card, it's the sea creatures card, and everybody is like acting as one. They're kind of looking at each other. There's all different sea creatures in here, but they're all together in this whirlpool almost of, it looks like energy. I know it's a sea creature, but to me it's looking like energy. It's red, so it feels rooted. So allowing yourself to really get immersed in it, immersed in your family lineage, immersed in that history, and making that time and space for it. Again, this is the time to do it. In fact, we are having, I think we have 2 classes for October. If you're listening to this in real time, we have 2 classes for October 2023 where we're diving into ancestral lineage. One of those is with Frank. It's an ancestral healing class. The other one is a class with me, and that is the full moon circle, and that is the like Halloween full moon circle. So that's really like dropping that veil and going in and speaking with the ancestors and honoring them and remembering them and thanking them for all that they do. So if you're really want to dive into this work, we are going to really have a supportive energy this month. I'm pretty sure Frank's class is this month. If it's not, it's in November. But incredible. So it may be in November. But either way, go for it. Don't let it pass you by. And then over that, we have, so the overarching understanding for this month is purpose. Okay. And it's on here. It's called, the actual name of the card is called Sacred Site. So what does that mean? This is it looks honestly a little like Stonehenge. So it's like a really energetic site. What is your purpose? What is understanding your purpose is, or purposes, I like to think we have multiple purposes, is beyond important. Why did you sign up to be here? Why did you sign up to be in this lineage, right? You signed up to be in this body, in the physical DNA of this family. So why? What is the purpose of it? And you, again, we are the chosen ones for a lot of our family lineage, because for multiple different reasons, right? It could be that you have the strength to do it. It could be the times that we're living in. It's easier for us to do the healing work. We're not going to be persecuted for it. So, I mean, there's a multitude of reasons why you may be that chosen one, but you have to really step up to the plate here and break those chains so that you can live your best life. Because what happens is, think about, and listen, you're going to get some clashing. If you're telling family members that you're doing this healing work, you're going to have clashing because they are fearful. So don't let their fears dictate how you show up, how you do your healing work. Okay? I'm saying that it's so important to make sure that nobody tears you down off of this healing work. Now, you may be carrying your own fears going forward, going into this. You don't need everybody else fueling the fire. So you have to really allow yourself that time and space, and maybe don't say anything about it. Maybe don't say anything if you think that somebody else's fears will get in the way. So October message is deeply, deeply ingrained in ancestral healing, in ancestral work. So make sure that you are making time and space to do this. Make sure that you are tuning in, that you're doing the homework that I gave you, which is, as much as you can, ask your family members that are alive with a good memory, okay, that can tell you stories of your past, so you can understand maybe where your blocks are, or where you get your tenacity, or where you get your, I don't know, whatever, where you get some beautiful things about you, as well as, we talk a lot about the things that we carry forward that we need to heal, but what about the beautiful things about who you are? you're getting that from Ancestral. You could be getting some of it from Ancestral lineage as well. So let's look at it all and understand who we are on a blood basis, on a bloodline, I should say, basis. So we can really understand multidimensional layers of who we are, right? We want to understand that. So if we can understand that physical layer of who we are, our physical DNA, it will change the thing, how you show up, because then you're going to know where certain blocks are and what certain strengths you have are. Beyond important. So take the time during October when the veils are thin to do that homework. Ask those that are alive about your family lineage. Ask in meditation for your ancestors to come to you. Sign up for those classes. They will be really, really supportive. And I hope you have an incredible month of October.